So oftentimes, you'll now start thinking about how to manage scale. And oftentimes, managing scale means managing around latency and managing around cost. And so with this, we introduced the final part of our stack, known as orchestration, where you can manage around scale by adding a couple of additional mechanisms and forks into your application. Two strategies that we've seen in managing costs and latency involve using semantic caching to reduce the number of round trips that you're taking to our API, as well as routing to the cheaper models. The first one of these is known as semantic caching. And so what semantic caching looks like in practice from a systems perspective is you're going to be adding a new layer in your logic to sit between us and your application. And so in this case, if a query comes in asking when was GPT-4 released, you would first go to your semantic cache and do a lookup there and see if you have anything in your cache. In this case, we don't. And then you would just pass this request over to our API. Then the API would respond with something like March 14th, 2023. And then you'd save this within your semantic cache, which might be a vector database or some other type of store. But you're really, the main point here is you're saving the March 14th, 2023 response and keying it with that query of when was GPT-4 released. And then you pass this back over to your users. And this is fine, but let's say a month or a week from now, another request comes in where a user asks GPT-4 release date, question mark. Now, this isn't the exact same query that you had before, but it is very semantically similar and can be answered by the exact same response. And so in this case, you would do a semantic lookup in your cache, realize that you have this already, and you just return back to the user with March 14th, 2023. And with this setup, you've actually saved latency because you're no longer doing a round trip to our API, and you've saved cost because you're no longer hitting and paying for additional tokens. And while this works great, oftentimes it might be a little bit difficult to manage, and there are often even more capable ways of managing cost and latency.